Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about Usborne's fiction books. We're going to start with the babies. So this is Hushabye Owl. It's soft, has two sides. It has crinkly papers in it for the kids. You can open it up. There's a few pages with some nice colors on it. Great for the stroller or the car seat. Next we have the That's Not My series, and there's many books. I just have two in front of me. That's Not My Cow and That's Not My Tractor. But basically the moral of the story is on every page there is something for the kids to touch and feel. That's not my cow, his ears are too soft, etc. So fun for all the kids to read and interact with. Next is That's Not My, this is the How to Brush Your Teeth with Snappy Croc. And there's three other books in this series, and basically it walks you through processes that toddlers and little ones might not be that interested in doing. So brushing your teeth, how to bathe the little dinosaur, how to feed my cheeky monkey, and how to tuck in my sleepy lion. Sorry, I had to see the titles of all the books. Next we have Jungle Sounds. This is a beautiful book with wonderful illustrations and things for the kids to look at. They can follow along on the finger trail. They can push the buttons and hear a little sound. So that's fun on every single page. Next is Usborne's Illustrated Alphabet. So this is more of like a good keepsake and learning book. But so it comes with a beautiful hard case. The book is hardcover, and it's just wonderfully illustrated. Beautiful pictures on every single page, and short little verbiage on the page so that you don't lose the kids' interest when you're reading. But a great tool to help learn the alphabet and have fun at the same time. Next is the complete book of Farmyard Tales. This one is fantastic. It comes with a CD. There are 20 stories included in this single book, a nice heavy book, and there's words on the top of the page and also at the bottom. So it's a dual reader, and so once your kids are learning to read, they can read the top and the parents can read the bottom. Or if you want to make bedtimes a little bit shorter, you can just read the top of the page and not the bottom. Next I have a couple books. So this is Usborne's First Experiences series, and I really like these. They're little, easy to pack. If you have a kid that's maybe has anxiety about going to the doctor, going to the dentist, or going to school, these are $1.99. Great little book to carry along with you. Talk about an experience maybe if they're having some anxiety. Next is a Peek Inside from the Peek Inside series and Little Red Riding Hood. So it's textured. I don't know if you can see that, but as you open it up, each page has like holes, and it just keeps building on the story of Little Red Riding Hood. So fun for the kids to see as they go along. I'm sorry I'm not showing a great picture of that. Little Red Riding Hood Peek Inside series. Next is the Muddle and Match series, which my toddler and my little one really love. But basically you can make your own story or make your own animal. And so Marvin the monkey moves towards the mark on the map, and then if you just change the head, it becomes a parrot with a monkey body. And if you keep going, you can kind of make your own little creatures out of it. So that's fun for the kids. There's a few other in the series, but it's the Muddle and Match series, and I have the Jungle Animals book. Next is Underpants for Ants, which is a super fun book, and it focuses on phonics. So if you have a little one that's starting to learn, this is a good book to start out. Starting to learn how to read, this is a good book to start with. So, but it's a really funny book, and it's not super long, so it'll keep their interest, and has some good rhymes and rhythms in it. Another great book is Usborne's Ted and Friends. So this also has a CD, and there's multiple stories inside with large words, fun things to read, fun little things to read with your kiddos. But it's also something that you could take to bed with you and read maybe one or two stories and not have the get up, I need another book experience before bedtime. Then we have There's a Mouse About the House. This is a great big book. It's super fun, and there's a little mouse that comes with it. And it actually, if you lose your little mouse, it tells you how to make another one, so that's very helpful. So the fun thing is you put the mouse I don't know if you can see that. So you put the mouse through the page and he goes through, and then it guides you through all the places that the mouse needs to go in the story. So it's a fun interactive book for kids to sit down and read with their parents. Then we have Tale of Two Beasts. So this actually story will go in, it'll show you the perspective of the girl and then the raccoon, which is the beast. But it talks about how the girl will rescue the raccoon and carries him safely home, but the beast is not happy. And so it's just a fun story about kind of looking at the different perspectives. Then there's Nibbles, which is a super fun book. Nibbles the Book Monster. So if your kiddos are familiar with some of the fairy tales like Little Red Riding Hood, Jack and the Beanstalk, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, this little Nibbles ends up eating through the stories, which is really fun. But so if your kiddos are familiar, and even if they're not, my little one isn't familiar with those fairy tales yet, but he loves this book. It's a super fun one for the kids. Next you have I'm a Dirty Dinosaur. There's also a Hungry Dinosaur, and so there's great alliteration in these stories, and nice big words to follow along, and for the kids to read about the dirty dinosaur. Next is the book is called I Love You Animally, and it's such a sweet, adorable book. I think it's something that every parent should read to their child. So it talks about how I love you shyly like a quail. I love you hugely like a whale. I love you cleverly like a fox. I love you busily like a bee. I love you doggedly like a flea. And so it's just a very cute, adorable book to read to your little ones. Then we have illustrated stories, and there's a couple in this. There's a couple similar to this, but this is a really nice, heavy, padded book. Great illustrations. It comes with a bookmark, so you can mark your page. I have illustrated stories from Shakespeare. They also have illustrated ghost stories, and some other ones I can't think of off the top of my head. But great photos in there. Can go through, read a short bit, and save your page, and save it for the next time. They also have some chapter books, which are great. So if you have early readers, they have the Hey Jack for this, and then the Billy B. Brown. There are about 30 words per page, and so easy confidence builders for kiddos to feel good about learning how to read and getting through a book successfully. And if they do enjoy it, there are multiple books in both of these series. So they can keep reading and keep feeling that confidence and really fall in love with the characters. Next up, if they feel confident with those, we have a couple other options that are a little bit more difficult. And so there is the I Am Jack, which follows the Hey Jack series. And then there's the Billy B. Mysteries, which is the next step up from the Billy B. Brown. There are also multiple books in both of these series. So there's some other easier chapter books too. Farm Rescue, Pup Patrol, Jack Russell Dog Detective. So there are multiple books in these as well. And then you have Ella Diaries, which is a super fun book. It's written from her perspective in a diary. So when you open it up, she'll have, little scratch outs on the page, like she's writing in her diary, little pictures. So it's a really fun book for the girls to read if they're starting to do their own diary. Along that same line, these are all series books. They all have multiple, so it's fun to carry on through the series. Pony Craze Princess, Penny Dreadful. The cool thing about this is there's 3 stories in one book. Fairy Ponies is another one. Then you get even a little bit more challenging. You have EJ-12, which is Girl Hero. She's basically saving the world. There are some pictures in this, but not as not as many. Are some photo captions basically. So these are a little bit more challenging along that lines. Moving into the more of the boys' interests. So this is Operation Robot Storm. There are also multiple books in this series. So this is Armed, Dangerous, and Covered in Fur, Operation Robot Storm, Mythical Ninth Division. There's little drawings in here, comics. So this will really help if maybe you have a reader who's not as interested in the chapter books. This might be a little bit more interesting to them. Then you have Phoenix Files, The Last 13, and Conspiracy 365. So these are, again, a little bit more advanced. So kind of the mystery, saving the world, MacGyver, The Last 13, talks about, there's 13 books in there, 13 nightmares, 1 destiny. And so it's an interesting theme to follow along. Then you have The Impossible Quest, which if you have a reader that is interested in Harry Potter, that would be something along the lines for them. And then the Gateway series, Four-Fingered Man. This follows along a family that buys a hotel and has guests that are not necessarily from cities, states that we're familiar with. So it's a fun series for pretty much anyone to read and enjoy.